What's going on, guys? Gonna give it a few minutes, then we'll go ahead and get started. All right. Let's go ahead and pop out the chat to see some of the people in here. All right, Nikolai, how's it going? Good to see you here. Victor, Mirza, Renidu, Pino, Tabarak, Path, Mohammed, Hyper, Eswar, David, Nikusha, Pedram, Sparakos, that guy Jandro. A lot of good people in here, guys. A lot of regulars in here. Robin, Peak, awesome. So good to see you guys in here. Victor says Prima Bar. So I had to order some more Prima Bars. Hopefully they're in today. But yeah, I won't be eating one during this stream, unfortunately. What's going on, Mirza? See, Nikolai says I ape Zeus very hard here, thinking 200x to 1 bill. Interesting. See, what's going on, Pino? Good to see you. Nikusha says, yo, future billionaires. There you go. That's the spirit, guys. Renidu says, was waiting for the updates. That's right. Want to make sure you guys got that weekly market overview today since I was visiting family over the weekend. So I figured I would at least give you guys a stream this week. Robin says, what's good about Solana? A lot of good is about Solana. It's going to break 200 sooner rather than later. Claudio says, ready for all the data sets today. Let's go. Let's do it, guys. 10 seconds left. Fernando says, hey, CD, hope you're doing great. Hey, hope you're doing great. Nikusha, I'm doing good. Thank you so much. Dreamer, NFD, Team Papa, Kardik, Formaxi, Andre, Billy. A lot of good people. Mahedi, Jack Hanger, Sino. A lot of good people here. With that said, let's go ahead and get this stream started, guys. I know you guys have been patiently waiting. Again, we got 93 viewers in here, only 10 likes. If you guys could like the stream, it's going to help spread this to the masses, help get more people in here so that we can share all of that good data. With that said, let's go ahead and start with the liquidation data. So past 24 hours have shown 530 mil of liquidations, with 360 mil of those being short. So shorts have been getting wrecked recently. Ethereum has been breaking out. Bitcoin has been doing great. Altcoins are catching up. Altcoins haven't been doing as good, but they still are catching up. So in my opinion, we're going to see that rotation within a week or two. I'll mention that as well. But next, looking at the liquidity heat map. So let's go ahead and refresh this page just so we can get Bitcoin's current price, because I know it has been going up a little bit over the past few hours. So you can see here on the 24-hour liquidation heat map, there is a lot of liquidity near 123K. You see a little rejection, and then there is some liquidity near around 119 to 120K. Now, the only thing I want to mention is if you go to the 1 week liquidity heat map, there's actually a lot of liquidity near the downside. So yes, there's some at 123K, but look at all this near 117 and 115. So that's the biggest thing, guys, is if we do end up having a pullback for whatever reason, I would target 117 and then 115. I know no one wants to hear that, but those are the downside targets. Now, if we end up going higher than here, which I think is a real possibility, breaking that 123K all-time high, that's going to send us much higher. That, in my opinion, if we can close the daily above 120, call it 121K. If we can close the daily above 121, we're going to 130 by the end of this month. So that's the gist of it. So keeping an eye on that. Also, guys, if you aren't following me on X at the CryptoData, definitely do so. I'm posting a lot of good updates, getting a lot of good content out to you guys. Again, I try to share as much content as I can, so definitely follow me on X. Check out my pinned message. Check out all of the posts that I have, and I've even been in a few spaces recently where I talk a lot about a lot of good stuff. So definitely do that if you haven't. Now, let's go over some crypto news items and macro news items from Watch Your Guru. I get a lot of my news content from him. He is a great source for all of the latest news. Now, some big things that happened over the past week. This is one of the biggest. Is Trump officially signs executive order opening the $12.5 trillion 401k retirement market to crypto investments. Now, guys, I don't know if you know how bullish this is, but a retirement market for 401ks and IRAs, the biggest reason the stock market has been going up is because you have boomers and people getting ready for their retirement investing in the stock market, right? There's all these ETFs already formed with the stock market, all these plans already formed, and these retirement funds being formed like 2055 retirement or 2065 retirement, where it's just literally a basket of funds with the S&P and you can just invest in it, right? Some's riskier, some's not. You have bonds as well. But nonetheless, that was a big reason why the stock market just goes up only. Now, if you change that model or you add crypto, what do you think is going to happen when people investing some of their retirement into Bitcoin monthly or Ethereum monthly or Solana monthly? Guys, we are just getting started. I'm telling you, like, I'm trying to be humble with this, but there's so many catalysts over the next few months and even year that we're going to see play out. And I'll mention those as well. But this retirement one is very big. And one I think we're not going to see, this play out until maybe a few months down the road or maybe by the end of the year. When we start seeing a lot of those flows come in, a lot of those people change their allocation to have 5% Bitcoin, 10% Bitcoin, what have you. But the biggest thing right now is boomers understanding crypto, because I mentioned I visited family over the weekend. Now, there was a distant relative that I visited, and he was telling me that he doesn't understand how I make money in crypto. Mind you, he was, I would say he's maybe, late 60s, maybe early 70s, and he didn't understand how I made money. And he was thinking that Bitcoin is just some, fake or digital or what have you. It's not tangible. That was his biggest thing, is it's not tangible, so he can't recognize it. So guys, that tells you how many people are still left out of what's going on. Even though we think we've hit mainstream adoption, which maybe we have with actual news outlets, but not with the global population. There's only 8% of people who have been invested in crypto. There's still a ton of people, right? But it's just about understanding. That's the biggest thing, guys. So if we can make people understand crypto better, whether it's through education, whether it's through mentorships like I'm doing, whether it's through, information groups, whatever, that's going to help increase adoption. So I just want to harp on that a little bit. Now, you also had Trump officially sign an executive order to stop banking discrimination against crypto, religion, and politics. This is big because Trump has really been attacking the banks for being hard on crypto. And we're seeing the deregulation happen. We're seeing SEC drop the lawsuit against Ripple. That's finally come to a close. A lot of people that were sued, a lot of CEOs that were sued in crypto, those charges have been dropped. Now we're seeing the Genius Act sign into law mid-July. We're going to see the Clarity Act sign into law by the end of September, most likely. So there's a lot of things that are providing more regulatory clarity, and that's opening the doors for different companies to get involved in crypto. So great to see on there, and great to see now that we're going to start to see banks be a little more lenient. And even with, remember where I talked about real estate past stream, where you have realtors now, or even if you're applying for a mortgage or applying for a loan, they have to consider crypto as an asset now. Because before, if you were just full-time trading crypto, you couldn't get a loan, right? Or at least it was very hard to prove your income. But now if you use crypto as collateral, or they can actually verify that you have what you say you have, then they'll give you a loan. And they could tie it to that. And so crypto now being used as an asset for loans, banks now having to accept it. I mean, there's all kinds of different things that are happening, guys, that, like I said, the ground is shifting beneath our feet, and you have to adapt or you'll get left behind. I already mentioned the Ripple and SEC lawsuit officially ended their legal battle. David Sachs, who's the crypto czar, says the President Trump signed today will give 90 million Americans access to crypto. He's talking about the retirement access. You also had Harvard buying $116 million worth of Bitcoin. Guys, who thought that Harvard would buy $116 million worth of Bitcoin? Harvard is historically left-leaning on the political spectrum. And we know the left is a little more anti-crypto. Just look at Senator Warren, look at all these other senators on the left. They're very anti-crypto because they can't control it. So, granted, you know, it's mostly the radical left. The slightly leaning left, yeah, of course, they still accept it. But I'm just saying for some of the radicals, Harvard, it did surprise me that they invested in Bitcoin. So now that's going to open the door to other colleges accepting Bitcoin. So it's great to see at least that we are having these colleges start to adopt it, and they can include it in their endowment fund as well. That's another big investment. So something good to see there. And you also had Trump firing the IRS Commissioner Billy Long, again opening the door for a more pro-Trump administration and Trump council. And then you have Eric Trump. He has been making me laugh so hard recently. And I'll answer the questions as well, guys. After I go over these news items, I'll go and answer a lot of the questions. But you see, Eric Trump, he's just been ragging on people. Because remember, he told people now is a great time to buy ETH when ETH was at 2,700. It went down to 1,500. You know, over the next few months, people dunked on him. And now that ETH is above 4,700, he's dunking on everyone else. So you love to see it, right? I'm here for it. And he says, Eric Trump says, stop betting against Bitcoin and ETH. Trump says, it put a smile on my face to see ETH shorts get smoked today. He's all in, guys. And I love it. When you have the president's son this bullish and this vocal about crypto, it's only going to go one way, right? So that's great to see. You love to see it. Now, on a less bright note, you have Bo Hines actually resigning. So he was the executive director, the 27-year-old guy that was very bullish. You can see here, let's go ahead and click this. He said, serving in President Trump's administration and working alongside our brilliant AI and crypto czar David Sachs as executive director of the White House Crypto Council has been an honor of a lifetime. Together, we have positioned America as the crypto capital of the world. I'm deeply grateful to the industry for its unwavering support. I love this community and all we've built together. As I return to the private sector, I look forward to continuing my support for the crypto ecosystem as it thrives here in the United States. So, yeah, unfortunately, Bo's resigning. He's been great. He's been a great ambassador of the space. He's the one that's been telling us that the U.S. has been discussing an accumulation plan for the SBR, the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. So he's been great, right? For anyone who doesn't remember Bo Hines, this was him, right? 27-year-old guy who is very, very good and working with David Sachs here to really push forward the administration in crypto. So unfortunate that he resigned, but we'll have to see who his replacement is. If any of you guys know, let me know. But I'll have to do some more research on that. You also had Ethereum flipping MasterCard to become the world's 22nd largest asset by market cap. You also have NVIDIA and AMD agreeing to pay 15% of Chinese chip sales revenue to the U.S. government. So that's something that's good to see. Again, more money for the U.S. government. You also have Trump saying tariffs are making the U.S. strong and rich. Now, to add on to this, I mentioned that Bo Hines said the government is brainstorming an accumulation plan for the SBR. Now, that accumulation plan is going to include, one, a delta neutral strategy that's either A, tariff savings, or B, issued by gold certificates. So it could be something else, but in my opinion, I think tariff savings are a good bet for the U.S. using some of those to purchase Bitcoin and accumulate more. And again, that is really going to be a big catalyst because that's going to create a FOMO effect for other countries and nation states. When the U.S. announces it's accumulating more Bitcoin, that's really going to solidify everything. So any tariff savings that the U.S. accumulates, that's just going to be used, in my opinion, to purchase more Bitcoin in the future. Or give a rebate to U.S. citizens. Trump was floating the idea of $600 rebate, which would be like a mini COVID stimulus, which would be nice as well. Trump officially extends China tariff deadline by 90 days on August 11th. So make sure you set a timer for this so that you'll know when volatility happens around that day. That would be in November. And they also have Elon. He was taking some legal action against Apple. Nothing crazy there. But yeah, MetaPlanet continuing to buy more Bitcoin, just like Strategy is. Great to see on there. And then this was a big reason for the pump that we had on the 12th, was the CPI numbers came out at 2.7%. Lower than expected. So when you had numbers coming out 2.7%, that basically solidifies the Fed is going to cut rates September 17th. And that's why the market flew afterwards. And I even mentioned in my market update, guys, if you guys are paying attention to my market updates, I said that if inflation comes in below 2.8%, it's going to be bullish for the market. And that's exactly what happened. So make sure you guys are paying attention to those market updates. If you're not in the Gym Hunters free group, join in the description below. It's the first link. If you want to join the Gym Hunters premium group, the second link in the description. And you can, it's 1 ETH for a year. So we provide leverage calls, meme coin calls, more live streams, more gym reports, 24/7 concierge service, and more. So if you guys want to join the premium group, second link in the description, 1 ETH for a year. Now, you also have some more tension between Trump and Powell. Trump says he's considering a major lawsuit against Jerome Powell. These guys have been going back and forth for a while. And I believe Trump is suing him. I mean, there's some more stuff here. But I think one of the reasons he thinks that Powell's being too political as well, of holding rates where they're at and sabotaging the economy. So he could sue him for malpractice or for malevolence or, what have you. And there's a few other things, right? Misappropriating funds with the Fed building. It was over budget. And there's a lot of other things. So who knows? We'll see. I don't necessarily think Jerome Powell is a bad person. I just think he may be underestimated when he would need to cut rates, and he should have cut them this past time in July, but he didn't. And so now we're seeing the after effects of that. And unfortunately, he'll most likely cut them now in September, but maybe just a little too late. But still, the market is front running that. So also, we had Treasury Secretary Bessent saying the Fed should think about a 50 basis point cut in September. Guys, if the market has a 50 basis point cut in September, that's going to be insane. That's going to be our white swan event. Because most people are expecting a 25 basis point cut if you look at Polymarket. But if the Fed can cut 50 basis points, that's definitely going to ramp things up, and you're really going to see the market pump. Because in my opinion, the market is pricing in a 25 basis point cut. That's why we're seeing everything pump. So it would probably be a sell the news event if we get 25 basis points after a small pump. But if we get 50 basis point cut, then that's going to be much, much better. You also have Bessent saying India is not being cooperative in trade talks. So whenever Trump has these tariffs that he slaps on countries, people assume afterwards that there's going to be trade deals. Even myself, I assume there's going to be trade deals, right? But sometimes you have countries that cause a little more friction. So apparently India is one of those. I assume they're going to be, they're going to come to an agreement fairly soon. I know that India isn't happy about Trump putting pressure on them, not buying Russian oil and a few other things. So obviously there's some tension there. But I think they'll come to an agreement and there'll be another bullish catalyst for us. And last but not least, you also had Standard Chartered Bank raising its 2025 year-end ETH price target to $7,500. I'm thinking $6,000 by the end of the year. But guys, $7,500, it's very likely. It's very likely we see a 7,500 ETH. So keep that in mind. Watch that. It's going to be exciting. Then also you had Trump saying interest rates should be at 1%. 1%, guys. If interest rates got to 1%, you know how crazy the market would pump? I mean, that's basically what he's saying is he wants cuts every month. Guys, we think the money printer is on right now. You have no idea. Once rates start getting cut big time, everything is going to fly. So 1% would be insane. That'd be like near COVID levels. So with that said, again, guys, see a lot more people joined. 136 viewers, only 45 likes. If you guys could like the stream, very much appreciate it. Also, if you guys aren't following me at the CryptoData on X, definitely do so. I post a lot of good content, a lot of free content. Check my pin message. A lot of good stuff here, guys. So definitely join if you haven't. Now, I know there's a lot of questions from what I talked about. So let's go ahead and check them out. All right. Let's see. Andre, good to see you. Robin says, what's about Solana for short term? Short term, it may hover below 200. There'd be a good buy near 180 to 185 if you can get it. But Solana, I think, is going to break 200 sooner rather than later. Pedram, no thoughts on the Ozaki AI pre-sale. What's going on, Lorenzo? Mahedi says, finally, Sol going to pump? I think so. I think so as well. Jakanger says, shout out to everyone who has been showing up when the market was boring with low volatility. Hope you all enjoying the gains. Yes, hope everyone is enjoying the gains. That guy, John Joe, says, win short. It's going to be a while. It's going to be a while. I think we're going up only for a while. Sino, you have an opinion on World Liberty Fi? Thank you. I'm bullish on World Liberty Fi, yeah. Long-term bullish. Not sure when they're going to launch, though. I need to check. If anyone knows when World Liberty Fi is going to launch, or the SEC's current decision on the ETH staking ETF, and when the next decision is, definitely let me know both of those. I need to find those out. Nikolai says, thanks a lot for everything you do for us. Hey, I appreciate you, Nikolai. I try to provide the best content I can. I really appreciate you guys, one, listening, and two, just all the nice comments. Pino says, waiting for a nice pullback for the next run-up. Yeah, I know everyone is waiting for that pullback, right? Everyone has those ETH set. Jin Z says, we ETHE baby. Yeah, ETH is doing amazing. What's going on, Luca? Alexander, hello, General. Hey, what's going on, Alexander? Good to see you. Zid, yo. David, thanks for everything you're doing. It's very valuable. Looking forward to your paid group. Appreciate it, David. Nicholas, what's up, guys? What's going on, Nicholas? Robin, Solana at 199.82. So close to 200. So close. Nakusha, go like G's. Yes, please like the stream, guys. I appreciate it. Help spread Gym Hunters to the masses. Again, if you haven't joined the free Gym Hunters group, it's in the description. Also, if you want to join the premium group, that is the second link in the description. It's 1 ETH for a year. You get more calls, live streams, 24/7 concierge service, more gym reports, etc. So a lot of stuff. Robin, yo, we just broke 200 on Solana. Ooh, great to see. As for hey CD, hope you're doing well. What do you think about liquidity piling for almost every other coin now, like ETH 4K, Sol at 173? I think so. If you're asking about a pullback, I don't know if we're gonna go that deep, but if you're asking to place limit orders, yeah, definitely place limit orders down there. Mahedi, whoops. Mahedi says, just curious, why don't you trade XRP, even the leverage? It's doing good in this cycle. Yeah, I definitely should look at XRP more, honestly. It's just, I think the stigma of it underperforming so much has gotten to me, to be honest. But I think it will do good in the near future. As far as says, also Virtual Bacon mentioned alt BTC pair bottoming out. Do you think it's time for alt season? I think we're getting close to alt season, yes. Because people are going to front run the rate cuts. Rocco, how do you keep track of taxes and how can I learn it properly? Rocco, great question. So for taxes, check out Coinly. Coinly, Koinly. Coinly. It's a great tax software. I used it last year. Eswar, boomers. Damn, CD, you need to hesitate. No, Eswar, I'm just saying the boomers. A lot of them, you know, of course they invest with 401ks, IRAs, but a lot of them don't understand crypto. So we need to make sure that the education aspect of crypto and the onboarding aspect is very easy and very seamless. Usama says, hey, John, loving your calls. God bless you always. ETH call was off the hook. Salute to you. Hey, salute to you, Usama. Appreciate you. Eswar, watch out for Ondo, guys. Could be leading the RWA sector. Yeah, Ondo, Syrup, and C-Pool. I think C-Pool is going to surprise a lot of people. Max, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. He says, what do you think about Aura? Is it a good entry now? I would check last time I talked about it. I'm trying to think of the support levels. Can't think of them off the top of my head, but if it's been performing good and making higher lows, then yeah, it could be a good entry. SOR, I feel so lucky and grateful to be in crypto at an early age of 21. Thanks to Luke Belmar and to UCD for guiding us through this market. SOR, that's so awesome. And I appreciate you guys. Like, you guys being in crypto right now, it doesn't feel like it, but this is a generational opportunity. And you're going to look back a year from now and wish you tried harder if you don't lock in, I promise you. So everyone here needs to lock in. Everyone here needs to put in the time, put in the research, watch these live streams, take notes, and be ready. Because now is the time to go risk on. Now is the time to capitalize. Because like I said, by this time next year, we're probably going to be starting the bear market, right? And so you need to take advantage of the hype, you need to take advantage of the positive news, the catalyst that we still have upcoming, accumulation plan for the SBR, the ETH staking ETF, the Clarity Act getting passed, interest rates being cut. Guys, there's so many catalysts, but I'm telling you, once those catalysts run out, we'll see that dip. So now is the time to lock in. Claudio, you mentioned how a lot of people yet don't understand crypto. How would you explain crypto to these people who view crypto as unreliable and too risky? I would tell people that, specifically I talk about Bitcoin, because I would say, yes, there's a lot of risk in crypto because there's a lot of different coins. So focus on the top ones. Focus on the blue chips, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. I would say Bitcoin is used as a hedge against inflation. Bitcoin is digital gold, right? I would first equate it to something that they can understand. So Bitcoin, think of it as digital gold. They can conceptualize that. Okay, cool. I got it. Okay, so Bitcoin's a hedge against inflation, a hedge against uncertainty. Yes. Now, why is Bitcoin better than gold? Okay, well, one, it's not tangible, which I know that's where a lot of people, they stop. But it's transparent, censorship resistant, it's immutable, it's safe, secure. It can be transferred via peer-to-peer without any intermediary. The bank can't hold your money. They can't freeze your funds. They can't pause your withdrawals. And your withdrawals happen within minutes. You can transfer $1 million and only cost a couple dollars, if that, to transfer. So I would tell them all those advantages. I would say that supply is capped versus the dollar, which prints money out of thin air, constantly becoming devalued, whereas Bitcoin is only appreciating in value every single year. And I would just tell them that even though it's not tangible, it's on the blockchain, so you can see it. It's backed by various computational problems that are securing the network by various miners, right? And I would just tell them that it's a more stable form of currency. And you're seeing other countries adopt it. I would say El Salvador bought over 300 million. The United States owns billions of Bitcoin already. Trump has passed laws that's pro-crypto. And so I would just tell them all that. And I would just say, you know, even though you can't see it, it's valuable because it has a cap supply and because it's being adopted by so many people. The dollar is only valuable because people put value on it. Just like Bitcoin's valuable because people put value on it, but there's actual reasons for that, like I mentioned earlier. And I would say multiple businesses have started accepting Bitcoin, much more versus last cycle. I would say Web 2 companies are getting involved in crypto. I would tell them banks are adopting crypto. BlackRock has been buying billions of dollars of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Fidelity has been buying billions. I mean, I would tell them all these companies that they understand has been buying crypto, has been buying Bitcoin and Ethereum. And if they still are hesitant after that, then that's it, right? You can't explain that. If they don't have time to understand it, you have time to explain it. So at that point, they'll just keep watching it go up. And so it's, yeah, that's what I would say. As for also, what do you think of copper BTC chart? I just saw the analysis on Bravo's research group about how copper prices could help us navigate BTC top. That's actually an interesting one. I'm going to have to look at that a little later, Eswar, when I go into the TA portion. If you could mention that again later on, I'll look at that. Mirza, how accurate is the pre-market price for Liberty Fi that is circulating on CT? What can we expect when it finally becomes tradable? So the pre-market price, I would say it's pretty accurate, around 80% accuracy. For the launch price for World Liberty Fi, probably around 15 to 20 cents, if I had to guess. I don't know what the price is now, though, but I would probably say it'll launch around 15 to 20 cents. Mirza, would love to hear your thoughts on MOG as well. I think MOG's a good ETH beta play. Usama, what's your projection for getting out of this market? I mean, selling your bags. So originally, the 4-year cycle happened. I mean, it happens every 4 years, right? But it happens usually in October, November. So I'd get out a little bit there. I would get a little bit out by the end of the year. And then lastly, I'd be looking for April, May of 2026 to get out fully. So October, November, then by the end of the year, beginning of next year, and then by May. So I'd take profits, a third towards end of October, a third towards the end of the year, beginning of January, and then a third near May 2026. Mirza, which ETH beta plays are you most bullish on right now that didn't pump yet? I think I'm pretty bullish on Doge. Doge is a good one. Doge should do well. Maybe ENA. Well, ENA's already pumped a lot, but maybe a good ETH beta. Like any restaking narrative when ETH is pumping, the stablecoin narratives do good. Like ENA, Lido, Aave, CRV, Curve Finance, right? A few others. So those are all good picks. GSM. Thanks for sharing market updates. Which coins can I risk low capital spot with $1,000? Thanks for following you from Burundi. Awesome, GSM. Much love to Burundi. As far as $1,000, I mean, you know, I would look at Bitcoin, or not Bitcoin, but Ethereum, Solana, Hype, and maybe Doge. You can probably throw Doge in there, but yeah, Ethereum, Solana, Hype, and Doge. Maybe 250 in each. See what happens. Stanley, how low in terms, maybe Fartcoin too, actually. I think Fartcoin's going to really go. They'll probably give you a 80% move. Stanley, how low in terms of price will Bitcoin and ETH in the coming bear phase? Hard to say because now we have to see how high they're going to go this phase, right? I'm thinking Bitcoin's going to go to $250,000 by May 2026, and Ethereum's going to go to 10 to 15K. So if we extrapolate that out and we say, okay, during a bear phase, we have 70 to 80% pullbacks. I mean, that means the Bitcoin is going to be, what, 50 to 70K on the next pullback, and ETH is going to be 3 to 4K. So probably that. Mirza, Benjamin Cohen also recently tweeted that he expects alts to go home in September, meaning they're going to dump hard. What are your thoughts on that? How high, or how does one come to such a conclusion at the point? So he's thinking that, which I can agree with that, because I do think September will be bearish. I think that people are front-running the rate cuts. Rate cuts are September 17th, but we may end up chopping around beginning of September. After the rates get cut, probably have a dump, and then alts will go home, because that's the big catalyst, right? Rate cuts have been a big catalyst, just like Bitcoin ETF was for the longest time. So we may have a dump when it happens initially, then a few weeks of chop, and then maybe a few weeks more of chop in October, and then pumping mid-October. So yeah, I agree with him on that. Junior says, like the stream, guys. Yeah, guys, we have 147 viewers and only 82 likes. If you guys like the stream, that'd be awesome. Also, follow me on X at the CryptoData. I post a lot of good content for you guys. Also, check the pinned message. And also, if you want to join the Gem Hunters free group, in the description, first link. Also, if you want to join the Gem Hunters premium group, which is 1 Ethereum for a year, it's going to be more leverage calls, more meme coin calls, more altcoin calls, more live streams, 24/7 concierge service, gym reports, etc. And it's only going to get more expensive because ETH continues to get more expensive. So, but yeah, also if you haven't signed up for BloFin, refer link in the description. The best non-KYC leverage trading exchange. Hootie says, what do you think the bottom is for BTC? I know you said on the 1 week heat map, there's got to be some liquidity near 115K, but do you think we drop any further? Thanks for your time, G. Hey, no problem, Hootie. 117K is where I look to bid. Raphael with the exclamation marks. Pedram, any thoughts on Ozark AI presale? No thoughts on that. Hootie, stream liked. Awesome. Thanks for liking, guys. Appreciate that. Lorenzo, everything to the moon. Yes. By the way, thanks for all the calls, Data. Hey, appreciate you, Lorenzo. Glad you guys are enjoying the calls. Kevin, are there any coins on the Solana blockchain that you're keeping an eye on? Maybe Codec, CODEC, and then Light. I think Light may surprise some people. Light is the Heaven Dex that launched just the other day. And maybe a hated rally there. Right now it's around 22 mil. So that may be one that could do good. Zid says, do you have any bags in Link? No bags, but Link's been doing good. Oscar, what do you think about XRP? Still bullish on XRP. Nikusha says, thoughts on Jupiter Eco? To be honest, I'm 50-50 on the Jupiter Eco. It's okay, but it's something that's not gaining as much traction as I thought. I mean, again, Uranus is good, right? Gain some traction. Even Candle, I think long-term. Long-term, the Jupiter Eco will do good, as Solana does good. So I'm not going to rule it out. I would say there's other ecos I'm more bullish on, but Jupiter Eco will do good long term. Nabi says, how about Bitcoin is going to go up to 123K? I think so. Eswar, okay, CD, I have doubt since the money printer doesn't turn on until Fed cuts interest rates. And how can we say confirmation that market will front run the event? We're saying that because the market's pumping right now, Eswar. And that's the reaction that the market gave after CPI came in lower than expected, meaning the Fed's going to cut rates. Therefore, we wouldn't be pumping as hard as we would if people weren't front running. Sino, no official launch date out for Liberty 5. Okay, thanks for that. Batiste says, opinion on Taurus AI, tentatively bullish. I know Virtual Bacon is bullish on it. Aaron Double says, expecting an ETH pullback. I mean, if we do, it's going to be quick, guys. Like, have some longs near 4,300, and then depending if we close the daily above 4,650, that may turn resistance, turn support. Could be another level. Robin, 5 minutes ago, Solana breaks $200.70. Awesome, Robin. So good to see. Eric, yes, sir. Data, how's it going? What's going on, Eric? Good to see you. Lena, what's the approach mindset for this next week? All right, guys. So the approach mindset for this next week is going to be bullishness for the next week and a half until the Jackson Hole meeting, August 21st, which is basically giving an overview of what the Fed's outlook for the next few months and central banks, etc. It's like a big meeting between everyone. So the mindset is buy on dips, first and foremost. So just look to buy on dips, guys. Try not to FOMO. DCA down, low leverage. That's the game plan. Eric, just got in on my lunch break. Eric, good to see you. Awesome. Hope you're enjoying the live stream on your lunch break. Good to see. Carl, do you think full alt season in QT bull market? Yeah, so once the Fed cuts rates and they end quantitative tightening, that's when we're going full-blown alt season. Granted, like I said, people are fronting that event right now, so it may be an alt season in the next week or so. But yeah, once those rates start getting cut and there's a more likelihood that they're going to cut further, you're really going to see alt season kickstart. Ooh, a lot of good questions. The Poor says, CryptoData, can you share how was your trading journey started? Yeah, it's a quick overview. My trading journey, I majored in finance. I had a financial analyst job, decided I wanted to do something different, joined the military, served in there in the Air Force. After that, I got out. Well, actually, I was in crypto during that time. So May 2017 is when I got into crypto. So I've been in crypto for over 8 years. But during that time, like I said, I was in finance beforehand. So I was in stocks. I was trading stocks, penny stocks, options, etc. So I knew a little bit about technical analysis and research. But crypto, I started May 2017 and really started getting into it a couple of years afterwards, growing my socials, my YouTube, my Telegram, my Twitter, all of that good stuff. And that's really what helped kickstart me, because I was providing value to people and I was learning about the space. And then I started doing more live streams. And then I joined Luke in January of 2024 is when I joined Luke with Gym Hunters. And basically the rest is history. I mean, I've grown a lot. I've traveled the world. I met Luke in Dubai, Singapore, Bali, Phuket, Thailand. Like, we've been around, everywhere. And so it's just been a great journey and I've enjoyed it. And for people who are thinking of giving up because it's too hard, just reevaluate why you've been losing, if you've been losing. Journal your trades. Make sure your diet is right, your health is right, your sleep is right. And take a step back and just, reassess how you're approaching it. And so whether that's lowering leverage, whether that's lowering the amount of capital you're putting in each trade, whether that's the FOMO that you're feeling after every trade, like, just reevaluate it. Know there's going to be opportunities in crypto every day. And so if you don't get opportunity, it's not the end of the world. This market is still going to be very bullish, at least until the end of October, November, or the end of the year, or May 2026, which I believe. So guys, there's still a lot to go on. So don't feel like you have to catch every opportunity. But yeah, it's been a fun journey. I've enjoyed it. I'm full-time crypto now, and I'm loving every minute of it. Robin, no problem. Golden Boy, what about Sui? Sui, I'm still bullish on. Once it gets back above $4 and holds above it, it's going to be a nice little run. Bayo, with ETH having 1 billion in inflows, is a local top in. Great question, Bayo, because that is something that I mentioned whenever I saw, I mentioned the ETF flows of over 1 billion, because it usually marks the local top. Now, ETH had a slight pullback, but it was nowhere near what I thought it would have. And so, I mean, if those billions of inflows happened a few days ago, let me check real quick when those billions of inflows happened. Those happened August 11th. So yeah, no, we're still very much within that window of local topping within 1 to 3 days. So yeah, I think it's only a matter of time before, we have that slight pullback with Ethereum. But if it does, like I said, 4,300 and 4,000, depending how big the pullback is. Good question though. Zero, appreciate you a lot. Can't wait for more details in your paid group. Hey, appreciate you, Zero. Always much love. Fernando, what's your favorite alts? Favorite alts are Ethereum, Solana, Hype. And for RWA, probably Syrup and C-Pool. C-Pool's a good one for RWA. And then besides that, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, Fartcoin is pretty good right now. I think Fartcoin's going to do good. I'm still in that long. Oscar, can you still buy crypto now, or is it too high? No, you can still buy it now. But, I'd DCA. So I'd buy low now and then DCA lower, like at major support levels on the daily or weekly. NFD, do you prefer to scale out based on fixed technical analysis, or do you use trailing stops tied to volatility metrics like ATR or realized volatility? Great question. So it's a combination for me, but usually I'll do fixed technical analysis, like scale out at major resistance levels on the daily or weekly. And then from there, I may get in a major support afterwards. So yeah, no, I like to use that. I don't like to use trailing stops. I mean, you could do trailing stops tied to ATR, but it's, if there's a lot of volatility, it may, you may get tagged and you may get out of your position where you could have much higher. I would say the trailing stop with the ATR is much safer versus just, setting that, those resistance level TPs and setting a stop loss and that's it. Having a moving average stop loss could be good. But yeah, for myself, I just set my stops below the major wicks or below the major support levels on the daily or weekly. And then I set my resistance levels, multiple TPs at major fixed resistance. And then from there, I just let it ride. Landon, is Fartcoin pump over? I don't think so. I think it had a nice little hype, and now it's consolidating before the next move up. That one Mexican says, will you ever stop making videos? Not for a long time. Not for a long time. It's something I love doing. Even when I'm 70, I'll probably still making some type of video. Team Papa, are we still expecting Sol till 220? I would say so, yes. 218 is where I had the last take profit. Eric, I know you're not in Zeus data, but thoughts on Revival? It looks good, Eric. Not going to lie. The pump did surprise me. I'm not going to lie, right? It's, what, above 6 mil right now? It's doing great. The team did tell me they're, working on pumping it again, so they've done very good so far. So, I mean, much love to them. Hope that thing does very well. Linda, hello, happy Wednesday. I feel so slow to learning crypto, but it's a lot to take in. I thank you and Gym Hunters for helping me learn. Appreciate you, Linda. I know it's a lot, but again, it's just day by day. You learn a little bit more. You'll get smarter, and then it'll be like riding a bike after that. Derek says, hey, John Luke, just joined Gym Hunters. So far, so good. Thanks for all the updates and info. Derek, welcome to Gym Hunters, and thank you for that. It's a great group, a lot of good people, and so I love that you guys are making a lot of money. Roman says, is there an inverted head and shoulders pattern on the 4-hour fart coin? Could be. I'll need to look at that chart as well. Junior, hey, CryptoData, how low do you think ETH will dip this time next year? Probably 3 to 4K. Robin, I want to join the premium, but I can pay only 0.8 ETH. Can I do that? Unfortunately not, Robin. You may try applying still and maybe write some comments if you can, that you can only afford that. But yeah, they're pretty strict on the 1 ETH price, but you never know. But yeah, I don't think that 0.8 would work, unfortunately. Maddie, ACD, so glad to be part of this group, taking in all your wisdom. Appreciate you, Maddie. Oliver says AI voice. Is this an AI voice, Oliver? And am I an AI voice right now? Is that what Oliver is saying? Hyper, Solana phone is surging in price, $5,000. Ooh, Hyper. Thanks for reminding me. So I did order a Solana phone. If you're telling me it's $5,000 right now, that is wild. I have to see when mine's going to arrive. I may have to take that on. I'll have to see what kind of airdrops they're giving, because they may be giving some good airdrops. It's going to be over $5,000. Billy says, big ups for the consistent value, John Luke. Extremely grateful. Do you think the entire market pumps now? ETH is driving through the roof based on 2025 being the biggest bull run ever. Yeah, I think the market's going to have a nice little pump soon. And yeah, and just for clarity, so I am not Luke Belmar. My name is John Luke. We may sound similar and have similar mannerisms, but yeah, we are different people, just in case there was any confusion. Raptor, those who don't give a like for his free work. Oh, that's funny, Raptor. Oliver says, why AI voice? So this is my actual voice. It's not an AI voice. I think Oliver thinks I'm Luke Belmar, and he thinks I'm using an AI interpreter or AI voice modulator. I am not. I am my own self. Billy, or do you think mid-low caps will have a dip before liquidity flows in? No, I think we're going to see liquidity flow in from ETH to those. Robin, what's your thoughts on Solana for this week? 230 or not? I don't know if it's going to get 230 just because 220 is such a big resistance. I'd bank on 220, not 230. I mean, this week, though, ooh, that's a quick timeline. By next week, I think. For 220. Joaquin, when would you say is a good time to enter meme coins? I mean, right now is not horrible. We haven't really seen a lot of other coins pick up. ETH has been still on the show, so it's still time. Ed, are you just bidding ETH and Sol at major EMAs? Yeah, currently looking at that. Like I said, Doge is looking good for a long. Doge is looking good for a long, especially if I can get near 23 cents. Motivational Man says, hey, John, new to crypto world. What advice would you give a 19-year-old who's looking to get into crypto? First heard about it from the GOAT, Luke Belmar, and now I want to learn more about crypto. Appreciate that, Motivational Man. So to get in, I would just look at, one, I would learn the basics of TA, technical analysis. And so if you go to the Gym Hunters YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe if you haven't, guys. If you go to the Gym Hunters YouTube channel, go to the live tab and then scroll to the bottom. It's the third video from the bottom under the live tab. And you'll see technical analysis basics. And that'll give you a good idea of how to chart support and resistance levels. And then learning about the space, make sure you follow the right people. So let me give you some people to follow real quick. So one, myself, if you haven't followed. So let me link some good accounts for you guys to follow, okay? I mean, obviously you guys are already following Luke Belmar. Make sure you're following the Gym Hunters account as well. So I'm going to link some good accounts. So make sure you're following the Gym Hunters account. Also follow Into Cryptoverse. So Benjamin Cohen is one of the smartest macro guys I know. The guy does analysis better than anyone I know. So make sure you follow him. Also Virtual Bacon. Virtual Bacon is a great guy. Again, super smart guy macro-wise, has a good YouTube channel. So yeah, follow those guys and you'll learn a lot, especially in the space. So yeah, even also another guy, well, I'm thinking about him, Donnie. Donnie's really good with TA and making a lot of good points. So make sure you follow all those people. A lot of great guys, a lot of good people. All right. I'm going to answer a few more questions, then we'll continue the stream a little more to go over TA and other things. Let's see. Ooh, a lot of good questions, guys. A lot of good questions. All right, Junior says, hey, CD, what workout do you do for your back? So workout for my back, I'll do the neutral grip pull-ups, and I will slow down on the eccentric part, so on the way down. So I'll do a pull-up real quick, and then slow down on the eccentric. I'll do 4 sets of 15 on those, and then I'll do, what else? I'll do, you know, straight arm rope pull downs. So almost be, you can use a straight bar as well, but it's like lat pull downs where you keep your arm straight and you spread your legs and then bend over a little bit and then pull down. So I'll do that, and then I'll do a close grip seated, you can say lat pull down, if you will. And then I'll do single arm lat pull downs. So I'll attach the individual handle straps, and then I'll do a single arm where I'm just, you know, seated, but I'm pulling from the top, and then I'm pulling all the way behind my back to get my lats. And then I'll go on the Smith machine and do lying, like I'll lay on my back, I'll grab the bar, I'll have it a little elevated, and then I'll do pull-ups that way to reach the mid back, and then I'll do lower back extensions. So it'll be 6 exercises, 4 sets of 10 to 15. SWAR, okay, it's actually gold copper pair, not with BTC. For more info, just check Bravo's research on YouTube latest video. Hey, appreciate that, SWAR. Ghost Rider says, good entry on FART at 107. I'd still wait between 99 cents to 103. SWAR, ton is gaining traction, guys. Awesome, good to see on ton. Rioman, so what are you saying is I should put a bag coins that I know will go up and take profits in October, December, and May? Yeah, by the end of October, November. And then, yeah, the end of December and May. Yep. Fernando, could ton go to $6? Yes, it could. Titan, how do you learn market analysis? How did you learn? Honestly, just following the right people, constantly researching, learning technical analysis. That's the biggest thing, right? You just got to keep ingesting information, guys. Knowledge is power. The right knowledge is power. So you got to learn from the right people, elevate yourself, people smarter than you, always ask questions, always be learning, and put in that work, right? You need to make sure to implement what you learned, because if you're just learning stuff but you're not writing it down or you're not retaining it, what good is it going to do? Ollie, hi, what's the best price to buy Doge, ETH, and Hype, please? Doge, 23 cents, ETH, 4,300, Hype, I think around $42, $43. Avatar, hey bro, what would you say is the best play for someone holding spot mid to low cap alts that are lagging down, stuck between cutting my losses and moving into large cap alts for HODL? Much appreciated. So if your low cap alts are lagging and they're not really outperforming, I mean, it may be best to just cut the losses right now and just get into something that's been holding relatively well. Linda says, liked. Hey, appreciate it. Hey, 100 likes now. Appreciate all the likes, guys. Much love. Peak Data, you think rate cuts will be a sell the news event or white swan? I think sell the news unless it's 50 basis points, because people are expecting 25 basis points right now. Junior says ton chart is going down. It's too bad. Joel, when bear market comes, where would you look to accumulate for BTC and ETH preparing for the next run? Bitcoin near 70 to 80K and ETH near 3 to 4K. Robin, Yo-Yo, one more question. See, Fernando working about where LibertyFi, they'll announce it. Make sure you're following them on their X account. It's Conroy. Do you think AI will move? I think AI will come back, the narrative, but it's just been slow, right? Like, we've had all these AI developments like GPT-5, Grok 4, everything, but just the narrative hasn't caught on yet. Ivan, when do you think the market will do a pullback? Mid-September. Mirza, since we're expecting alts to dump September, should we sell around rate cut news and then buy again once they bottom? I kind of just like go in spot positions of playing to hold until the blow off top. Yeah, you could try that, Mirza. You could try that, definitely. Sell around rate cuts and then buy in the blood. Robin, what about Solana this week? I think it's going to be probably, I mean, on its way to 220. Amit says ARPA will pump. Interesting. I'll have to check that. Junior, when do you think Solana will hit all-time high? Ooh, by the end of the year. Andre, can you comment a bit on ETH reserves and what this means for ETH in the long run? Could there be any impact if they start selling? I'll have to do more research on the ETH reserves, to be honest, Andre. Hopefully they don't start selling. That'd cause a little panic. But I'm assuming most of these companies and institutions are in it for the long run, and they know the ETH staking ETF is coming, and that's why they're buying. Nagata, hey, do you think we go higher today, BTC and ETH? Most likely. Joel, if PPI data comes out bad, are we still going to have the same reaction like the CPI data? No, because CPI is much more directly tied to the interest rates. Sahil, brother, what happened to the Pengu trade? So I did not call the Pengu trade. That was Kincaid on that, but he put in a validation and I may have gotten hit, but Pengu is still doing good. If you can get in at 3.6 cents, that'd be a good trade. Fernando, could we see ETH break an all-time high before pullback? I think so. OX says, what's good? Hey, what's going on, what's going on, OX? Good to see you. Nikusha, you prefer ETH or Sol and why? Are you considering Solana flipping ETH? Great question, Nikusha. If I had to choose one, I mean, ETH long-term, Sol maybe short-term. Because Sol has a little bit more room to run versus ETH. But I would say ETH if I had to choose. If I absolutely had to choose, probably Ethereum. Dreamer, I think Powell's going to resign considering the pressure on him now. I don't know. There's a lot of pressure around him around July, and he didn't resign. I think he's just going to cut rates and hope everything else gets better after that. Ashish says, Olaf, 5K in August? I think so. Joel, what are your thoughts on alpha decay, and do you think backtesting that from years ago would be different than the present PA? Joel, explain to me alpha decay. I'm not familiar with that term in terms of crypto. I know there's time decay and options trading, but yeah, alpha decay, go ahead and... If you're talking about like the dilution of alpha in the space because there's so many coins, I agree with that. I agree there's less alpha than there was in the past, but I still think opportunities are here. And then backtesting data from years ago would be different than the present PA. No, I think backtesting data, history doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes. So I think backtesting data would still be good. OX says, you don't think Sol will make a move for all-time high? No, I think it will. Jessica, what will be the difference with Jim Hunter's paid group and yours? I mean, I guess I can't really talk about that too much here, but yeah, I'll just have a lot of content, right? I mean, I think both groups are good. So you're good if you can join both of them. PK work, could you share your watch list? So I'm not really watching too much stuff right now, so I don't want to share that. I mean, there's not really much in my watch list, to be honest. Junior says, are you still good on Ray, REI, for base? Yeah, I think Ray could still have some room to run. But like I said, it's, it's a high market cap, so you're going to have that standard volatility. Gamer says, when do you think it'll be the end of alt season? By May 2026. Alexander, you mean John Luke, a.k.a. Luke Belmar? You guys are hilarious. I'm loving the Luke Belmar references. Rioman says, what do you think about worthless coin? I'm not in it, but if it could be one of those similar plays like useless or just a meme coin. Jessica, because of you, I got my first 1K day yesterday. Jessica, that's awesome. So glad to hear that. When you guys make profits, it makes me happy. Landon, no problem. Claudio, Benjamin Cohen, August 23rd prediction for alt BTC top also coincides with a new moon on that date. Supposedly new moon is bearish. Ooh, Claudio. Good info, Claudio. Thanks for that. I'm actually going to write that down real quick. Give me a second real quick, guys. I need to write that down. All right. August 23rd, alt BTC top and new moon. Okay, good. Appreciate that. Mirza, that Donnie guy promoted that Bucky coin or whatever it's called, which ended up rug pulling. So he was talking about Bucky at 2 to 3 mil, and Bucky ended up going to 50 mil. So at the end of the day, all meme coins rug, whether it's right away or later on. So that Bucky coin was actually amazing for the pump if you got in early. Text plot, hey CD, loving the stream. Can you go over the rendered chart, please? I'll have to look at that a little bit later. Jessica, where are your limit orders placed on everything right now? 4,300 ETH, Solana 180 to 185, Hype 42, Doge 23. Vasil, is there going to be a new leverage call soon? We just had one yesterday. I know you guys are thirsty for the leverage. Maybe over the next few days, yep. Landon, do you think my 105 entrance on Fartcoin will get broken? Also taking notes. Appreciate the Landon. It may get broken. I mean, I don't know for how long, just because of the big pullback that we had after reaching 114. I may get broken, but again, as long as we can hold above $1, I'll remain bullish. Batiste, price predictions on the pullbacks to end a bull run for hype. Went over that as well. Alexander, are we expecting Solana to dump to 190 before 220 because we were kind of overbought in the stock RSI? Yeah, it's very possible, yes. OX, what are your thoughts on World Liberty 5? Bullish long term. Lisa, so if we want to hold for weeks to months, do you recommend with leverage? If so, futures or margin, or just spot, low capital? I mean, spot is the safest bet. If you're holding with leverage, very low, like 2x or 3x max. Nico, BTCD is breaking down for multi-year parallel channel. Should it close below the channel on daily, weekly time frame to have more confluence? What's your take on it? Yeah, so that if it closed below that channel, would definitely confirm we're going to break down a lot lower. Christian says, who is Kincaid? Kincaid is the other guy that calls leverage, makes leverage calls. You can see he was making the leverage call. If you look in the bottom right of the posts in the free Gym Hunters group, it'll say the name. So it'll say CryptoData, Luke Belmar, Kincaid, or just the Gym Hunters account. Kevin says, did Spider step down? Loved his calls. Yeah, I think right now he was taking a break. And yeah, he may be stepping down. Joel, alpha decay is like when strategy isn't as effective as before because a lot more people are using it. Yeah, 100%, Joel. I absolutely believe in that. Just because of saturation, more people have tools than they had before to trade, like, you know, tracking smart wallets, etc. So yeah, absolutely, there's a lot of alpha decay. Linda, do you think Bitcoin is having a pullback before jumping up to 123K? It may not be a big pullback. I would like to see 120 hold. Robin, what's your Instagram? My Instagram is at the CryptoData. Look at that. You'll see a picture of me in my back. And I posted health is wealth. And I posted a little, I linked my X post on there as well of my daily routine. Junior says CryptoData, obviously. Jessica says, why'd you say 4760 next big resistance on ETH? So that'd be near all-time high. So all-time highs are near 48.48 or 48.76, I believe. So that's going to be the next big resistance. Kincaid was the one saying 47.60. Oscar, what did you think about Pepe? Pepe's okay, but it's been lagging a little bit. Robin, what's the best price to buy Solana for long term? Can we see it at 130? I don't think we'll see it at 130. Probably the lowest we'll see is 180. Ivan, what's your target for Bonk and ENA? No targets for those. ENA, at least, I'll say $1.50. Landon, understood. Awesome, guys. Okay, let me go over some charts real quick, and then we'll have to conclude the stream soon since I have an appointment I got to go to. So this will be real quick. But Bitcoin needs to close above 120. Right now it's 121.6. Stock RSI is overbought, so again, may have a slight pullback, but the RSI is still looking good. So Bitcoin's looking good for another all-time high break. And then you have Ethereum. Let me bring up, let's see. Well, C-Pool, like I said, C-Pool is bullish for RWA. So it broke above the 50 EMA on the weekly, so it's looking good so far. Ethereum is amazing. 47.28 keeps going higher. Stock RSI looks like it wants to curve back to the upside. Very bullish. RSI is getting overbought, but we can see how long it can stay overbought, just like it has in the past for a few days in February of 2024. So yeah, Ethereum's doing great. Look at that. Look at that, guys. Where the all-time high closed. If we can close the daily in 5 hours above 46.30, but guys, I mean, that's going to be insane. Just look at this right here. The all-time high was 48.78. Let's go ahead and put a thing on there. Let me actually do it. Let's do 48.79. That looks very good, guys. We're getting one step closer. Again, Ethereum's looking good for a run higher on the weekly. Now, let's go to Solana. Solana, it's very close to 200 right now. It's basically at 200. Like I said, this is big resistance. Once 200 breaks, guys, Solana is going to absolutely rip. I want to see the daily close above 200. Really, I mean, obviously, it'd be best if it can close above 206, where this previous all-time high was, but a close above 200 is going to be a big, big move higher. The stock RSI is neutral right now. It could still retrace, but at the same time, the RSI still has room to go. So I think Solana may end up breaking above and surprising some people here. And then also, going over the Dogecoin, I mentioned 23 cents is a good level. It's at 24.2 right now. Again, it's kind of in the middle of this range, right? 23 and 25.2. I wouldn't necessarily be longing here, but if you go to the monthly RSI and monthly stock RSI is very bullish. Like RSI is crossing above the signal line, stock RSI is crossing to the upside. So the Doge on the monthly, it's going to reach 42 cents for sure, probably over the next few months. But again, just take some patience. If you want to enter long on Doge, 23 cents with a stop at 21.7. So low leverage, like 3x leverage. But yeah, looking good so far. What else? Render. I had questions about render. Render is not bad. Let me see. Let me see where I had my lines drawn on here. Nah, may need to redraw these lines. All right, so major support here, here. All right, so for render, in the middle of a range right now between 340, 460. You could say there is also some support here at $4. So if we can close above this 200 EMA at 430, 435, it'd be pretty bullish for render. And at that point, I would target at least 460 as the next major resistance, and then from there, 550. So render's not too bad, although it is getting overbought in the stock RSI. The RSI still has room to run, so maybe a short-term chop. If you can buy it near $4, that'd be a good level. All right. OX is, would it be good to rotate spot bags to BTC to ton or SUI? That may not be a bad idea. Yeah. Kevin, busy guy. That's right. Ghost Rider, what cars you got from crypto money only? Ferrari, which is a very nice one. And still looking at the next ones, and Tesla as well. So Ferrari and Tesla. Great cars. Batiste, ton. And then what about ENA? All right. Okay, ton, ENA, SUI, and then I really got to go, guys. So I'll make this quick. Also, please like the stream if you like it. Follow me on X at CryptoData. Really appreciate it. Ton, big resistance here near 353. Be good to take some profits here. And then 370. Good support near 335. RSI and stock RSI still look good. For SUI, looking good so far. Again, I want to see that break and close above $4. 411 is the next major resistance, followed by 437. So SUI is starting to get overbought in the stock RSI, but still wants to move higher. So like I said, 412 is going to be the next major resistance. If you want to buy at support, I looked to buy near 380 and 360. 380 and 360 are good support levels for SUI. And then ENA, we'll go over ENA real quick. So ENA is coming to, see here, it's coming to a major support near 76 cents. May not be bad to DCA here. The next major support is going to be 68, 67. So the RSI and stock RSI are curving to the downside on the daily. ENA had a crazy run, so it's only right that it's going to have these pullbacks, right? So I'd really look for 68 cents to be long on ENA. All right, already went over Fartcoin. Well, actually, I don't know if I did go over Fartcoin, to be honest. So I'll do that real quick. All right. All right, yeah, Fartcoin's at 108 right now, so it's just below that 50 EMA. This is resistance at 113, guys. 113, 114. That's why we rejected. So if we can close above this, we're definitely going to that TP1 target of 117. So watching that closely. The RSI and stock RSI don't look too bad on the daily, right? Stock RSI could look a little better, but it's not overbought yet, so still bullish on there. So yeah, next major resistance levels you can see here, 118 and then 136 for Fartcoin, and then 158. Now, we could go on the weekly as well. And I mean, you could really adjust these because Fartcoin is just so inconsistent with its support and resistance levels. But if I had to choose, yeah, I'll choose these as resistance and support. $1 is going to be that major support. You could even buy near 98 cents on the 200 EMA. But yeah, that's where I had my major levels. And actually, I'm going to lower this here. There, that'd be a little bit cleaner. So $1 is just psychological. Then again, hopefully it can hold this 200 EMA at 98 cents with this, because our stop loss is a daily close below 97 cents. So Fartcoin's still looking good from a technical perspective. Even on the weekly's almost oversold on the stock RSI. So very, very good on that. So I only use 50 and 200 EMA because those are the main indicators that other traders use. Like the golden cross and the death cross are when the 50 EMA crosses above or below the 200 EMA on the daily. And so a lot of people look at those, therefore it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And see, Avatar says, top man, thank you. The purple and green lines on the chart. The green line is the 50 EMA and the purple line is the 200 EMA, Renidu. Roman says, what about head and shoulders on Fartcoin 4 hour? I mean, let me see. So maybe yes. We could have an inverse head and shoulders. So you could have left the head and then you could have a right shoulder there. So it's very possible we have an inverse head and shoulders and then Fartcoin just goes up higher. Absolutely. That's actually a good analysis there. So granted, it'd be better if Fartcoin was coming down like this and then it made this pattern, right? But at the end of the day, I'll take what I can get. So yeah, I'll take that. And you could even draw it clearer, right? If you want to draw it, if we go head and shoulders pattern and you draw it like this, 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 and this, right? Just so people can see it easier. Left shoulder, inverse head, right shoulder. Yeah, so I'll keep that on the chart. Good analysis there. But it's the 4 hour, right? So you can only hope for so much out of the 4 hour, but better than nothing. Billy says, what are your thoughts on Wormhole and Python? No thoughts on those currently. Kevin, thank you for your time. Ain't no problem. Junior, goat, appreciate it. Landon, is it a bad idea to get into BTC, ETH, or Sol when close comes? I mean, yes and no, right? Because we've gone so much higher. But just make sure you're being responsible. If you're in it, just DCA. And you could set orders for lower as well. Brian says, replay squad. There you go, Brian. Good to see you. Yeah, this is being recorded, so you guys are going to get a lot of good content. Golden Boy says, Danky, I appreciate it. Max, I really appreciate your streams. Thank you guys. Sahil, I want to re-enter the Pengu trade. Can you give me some advice? 3.6 cents with a stop loss at 3.4 cents. Usama, advice on hype, please. $42 entry if you can get it. Junior, thanks for the stream. No problem. Bromes, hey, how you doing? Doing good, Bromes. So that will conclude it, guys. Again, if you aren't following me on X at the CryptoData, definitely do so. I post a lot of good content for you guys. Check the pin message as well. Have a lot of good content coming this week. You guys will be excited. And again, if you haven't joined the Gym Hunters free group, it's in the description. If you haven't joined the premium group, it is the second link in the description. Gym Hunters provides more leverage calls, meme coin calls, live streams, 24/7 concierge service, gym reports, and more. So definitely look to join that. One Ethereum for a year. But like I said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. Love you. Hope you have a great week. Talk soon.